Thank you for joining us here on the NPTE Final Frontier podcast. My name is Emily.
And my name is David. Today, we will be diving into a question which involves altered gait mechanics. All right, but how about that question now? Here is the question. During observation of a patient's gait, a physical therapist notes an increase in the step length on the right as compared to the left. Which of the following explanations is the most likely cause for this problem? Is it option A, weak right gluteus maximus? Option B, tight left gluteus medius? Option C, weak right quadratus lumborum? Or is it option D, tight left hip flexors? Now remember, stick to your plane. I don't know if we say that enough, but stick to your plane, stick to your plane, stick to your plane.
What was that, David?
Oh, I said stick to your plane. So the observations are being made in the sagittal plane. Therefore, deficits in the muscles and joints that move in this plane should be prioritized. As a result, options B and C can be eliminated. An increase in step length on the right could occur from poor eccentric control of the right hip extensors during initial contact, affecting the deceleration of the limb. Tight left hip flexors would restrict the extension range of motion on the left, which would cause a reduced rather than increased step length on the right. Therefore, the correct answer is option A, weak right gluteus maximus.
All right, so thank you for that, David. But let's dive a little bit further into the different ways a muscle contracture versus muscle weakness will alter gait mechanics and how we can visually observe these limitations during gait. So first we have a contracture or a tightness. This will lead to decreased range of motion on the opposite motion. So what do I mean by that? For example, if we have a hip flexor contracture, this is going to diminish their hip extension, which could do something like limit their terminal stance, since that's the phase where we need maximal hip extension. So remember, for a contracture, this will lead to opposite motion limitations. Now, if we have muscle weakness, this is going to lead to decreased motion of the same motion. So what do I mean by that? So now, in the opposite side, if we have hip flexor weakness, this is going to limit their hip flexion. So now we may see something like decreased step length. So an acronym I like to think of, and I live in a rural area with lots of farm animals, I like to think of the acronym COWS, C-O-W-S. So what does that stand for? The C stands for contracture, and the O stands for opposite, because remember, contractures lead to opposite motion limitations. And then to finish off that COWS, we now have our WS, which is weakness, and the S is same. For weakness will lead to same side motion limitations. Okay, so again, we have our COWS for contracture opposite, weakness same, when we're thinking about what motion will be limited. Now, NPTE questions usually use the keyword such as early limitation in the question to indicate more of a tightness or a contracture. And then they'll use words like decreased or inability for weakness. So for example, if we're looking more at the contracture question stem, they may say something like early toe off or early heel rise. But again, that's just one of those little nuggets of tips and tricks. That does not mean that is always the case. But remember that acronym of COWS and that Emily lives in a nice rural area with lots of farm animals.
That she does. Now that you have listened to our episode, here is a quote from Zig Ziglar. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. You are unstoppable. You are going to achieve your goals and your dreams, and you are going to evolve into such a great person out there, helping the world, being the best you that you can be. And we at Final Frontier believe in you. You are powerful, you are strong, you are a Final Frontier warrior. You will pass.
Thank you very much for listening. For more information on the NPTE Final Frontier, please visit npteff.com. You can check out all of our social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Till next time, have a great day and a powerful tomorrow. Thank you once again.